Askren and Jorge Masvidal. Look, this fight had everything. Everything leading into it. This was the people's main event. I can tell you I was live in the ring. It was my main event. But also speaking for the 17,000 people in attendance, which I think we can all agree is a pretty good focus group, this was the main event. I mean, this was the fight that people wanted to see. So they come out, and the whole fight was 5 seconds long. I've heard some discussion that was fun that, well, really, it should have been 2 seconds. I hear what you're saying, but it's not stopped until the referee waves it off. That was 5 seconds. The point I'm trying to make, in case anybody missed it, certainly you guys have at least heard about it by now. There's not a whole lot to break down. Jorge Masvidal sprinted at him, jumped up, threw a flying knee as Ben was changing elevation to come in and try to wrestle. So now you've got a head-on car crash. Ben's going to be out cold. A mule would have been out cold. Okay. But George did do one thing that was very tactical. The fight, all week, George has been doing this new posture, this hands behind the back. Now, this is to signify that he can be trusted, that he is not a threat. That is to signify. But George has been doing it the entire week of media. Anywhere he would go, any press he would do. He had an encounter with Bisping in the hallway of a hotel. Guess what George does? Hands behind his back. Why? Because he's passive. He's not looking to fight. Okay. Store this away because this is a rope-a-dope at the highest of levels. When the fight starts, and you guys might have missed this. I don't want you to miss it. You got to go, but you might have to go back and watch it. The whole thing's only 5 seconds, and this is on camera for about 1 second. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, come out and fight. Ben comes right at him to fight with his hands up. He's looking to come across the octagon. George, I don't want to fight, and turns away. Doesn't look at him, and then he turns back on a dead sprint and throws this flying knee. It was a rope. I felt, when I saw George put his hand, after the ref said go, I even thought to myself, did George not hear the ref say go? Hands here, and turns away, and then catches his eyes and sprints. Caught him off guard. I mean, it was really a spectacular setup that I don't think George is going to get credit for, because I don't think people really realize that it happened. That was by design. That was not George zoned out. Oh, I didn't hear the referee. Oh, gee, the ref said, no. That was all by design. And he started laying the trap during the media, starting early in the week. It was really a fascinating thing from that perspective. I will tell you, I did not enjoy the knockout the way a lot of people did. The arena erupted. I mean, this is the culture. This is the sport. I get it. No hard feelings either way. I found it scary. And it wouldn't matter who it would not matter who it. That was a scary moment. That was one of the worst knockouts I've ever witnessed. I believe it to be the worst because it was a car wreck. It was an absolute, it was a head-on. Ben was coming at him and changing of it. He was going down as George was coming up. It was just really powerful. I sent Ben a text message and say, hey, when you have a chance, would you just write me back something so I know you're okay? About 2 hours later, Ben wrote me back. He said, all good, but I heard I lost.